I'm ready to go down the woods and check on that, look at that other 63 Avanti wiring harness. Right now I left a tape measure here, so when we get back, I have to find a couple of pieces of 2x4. They're about 2 feet 9 inches, one for each side of the back of the engine to stabilize it until we could put the transmission back in. So we'll do that when we get back. And I'm about ready to head down the woods. The steam measured. We'll go out through here. It's not that beautiful out. Sunny earlier. Hey, I found the shovel I've been looking for. And down the driveway we go. I used to pull this behind a 1020 McCormick, which is in the barn. I worked on the farm here. One summer I had Jacob paint her up. I spent a lot of time with this hay rake out in the fields. The 1020, when you take a turn at the edge of a hedgerow, it's a pretty big swooping turn to catch the next wind roll. Sun's going down. I saw this advertised for $2,500. Real nice guy and his wife, old hot rod people. He had a Chevelle. Wanted $2,500. I got there, and just as we made a deal for $2,200, some guy calls him on his phone. Don't sell it. I'm on my way. I'll give you your full price. But the guy was cool. He goes, no, that's no deal. He was going to stick with me. I thought that was pretty noble. Then when I wrote him a check, in a couple of days he calls me out and goes, you put the wrong year down. I think it was 2020 or something instead of 2020 or whatever. And I go, oh, no. And he goes, don't worry, everything's cool. I go, so I sent him another check. And then he even delivered it for that price. He was going to do something with it. He purchased it from a family, deceased, whoever owned it, a widow. He bought it from a widow, don't know the guy's name. He never registered it, but he was a car guy, restored other vehicles. And it's sad because I could tell he had a lot of the chrome redone for it. And he bought it's got everything for it, the hogs troughs, anything you need underneath. The frame itself is in great shape. But when I went and looked at it, I was just so excited because the early 63s didn't have grills yet. When I bought mine, I asked the guy, where's the grill? Because it had such a good history on it. And he said it never had one. So if you know this or not, either a dealer contacted you or you could go back at a later date and they would have the grill ready, which I think they said was actually farmed out to the Frigidaire company. They do. They're like the shelves in the... Anyhow, when I went to get the car, I was so excited, and his back window was a grill, and it was in beautiful shape. I was like, oh my God, it's so wonderful. And then I was wetting my pants, as they say, and then the third person owned the one I'm restoring, the third person owned it. He didn't take very good care, and he had a hack freaking people working on it. They cut a chunk out of the shroud for the distributor. Oh, they cut out a chunk because they couldn't figure out how to put it back on after they rebuilt the engine. Hopefully the engine's good. Whatever. So some very cool. Oh, no, a lens. I was just going through the car, sorting things out. Mine had a broken lens, and they put a plastic lens in its place, real cheesy. So when I took everything out of the trunk, I was, oh my God, there they are. They're like gold. Reproduction, $100, but good original. So anyhow, this car was turquoise, painted white. You know, because I'm still gimped up here, I have to put put this down so I can lift the hood up. Got my favorite down vest on. The block was in the car, and I put it in the engine bay for now. I'll grease her out. Spring, we're gonna get this up to the house. I'm gonna grease up the cylinders good. We're going to clean it up nice. I'll have the kid get it, clean her up nice, and then I'm even going to give it a quick mix up some white paint and just to, and the bodies are pretty straight on this vehicle too, I might add. And there's some things missing. Here, well, look at it, it's all there. I guess so you can see what I'm doing here. It's so good to have a vehicle to have a reference to. Look at a nice, beautiful radiator. I had to have, when I got mine, it was just needed everything. I got the radiator record. This part of the radiator was rotten on one side. Called around, where are you going to get that? From another Avanti. So I have a 56 Thunderbird. I'll have to tell you a story on that here in the future. And what was left of the radiator, I cut half off and I welded it on. So if you look under my radiator, you'll see that it's worked out pretty good. I liked it because it's got a 56 T-Bird part on it. You'll see the other harness wire right here. Remember the wire thing I was talking about with the washers aren't on here. Just quick evaluation. So when I put my hood latch back together, I have something to refer to. And I'm going to let you take a little look inside. The issue with this car is both the doors hang really bad. Try to open the door. Oh, my crappy arm. I don't know how this is looking for you. I can't wait to get up to the house. We had the kid with this old moldy shit or something. Look at the steering wheel, the mold on it. When I got it, I did do a little inventory on the car to see what was with it or not. See what was missing. Hey, you can actually see what these roll bars amounted to, which ain't such a big deal. Can you see it up there? There it is. I have to feel it, see if it is a heavier gauge. If they really rolled, I wonder whether the structure would hold up pretty good. I never looked at the liner. Okay, this car was an air-conditioned vehicle. What other things? The other one wasn't air-conditioned. This one has electric windows, which I'm glad I don't like that accessory anyhow. Okay, something goes wrong, but that's got to be a plus. This is what it say here. Can the camera see it? 80,000 miles. So before the guy was deceased, look, he had the heads done. They're all done. Block didn't get done. And I've seen a lot of, so we're going to be, here's the seats I'm switching the seats. This was the original seat and the one I'm restoring. It was kind of rough. And this had black interior. So I'm going to use the black buckets when we get her together. Right here, let's take a quick look at her hood, trunk. Now we were here before, remember? Yep. We still got to go through some of this yet. This box of stuff here. I think I have most of the important new chrome stuff up at the house. Okay, here's a washer. They never had any wire or nothing on them. That's what I was being so stupid thing. Okay, enough for now. Again, geez, I just see that these had a chrome oil dipstick. They had a lot more chrome under the engine in my 63 vet. One more look here. I wonder why they had those ties on that one up there. Yeah, Bulls regular looks pretty good, but we're going to go new. I don't want to really start partsing this thing out either. I had the booster restored. I think it was close to $250. Set them the core. So I had that done. We're going to give it just tease you and give you a quick showing what's here. My nephew's 64 Chevy Impala. He hates when people say Impala. Impala. There's something cool here. You'll see this baby later on. This is a family farm. It's our doodlebug on the family farm here. Briggs Garage. And under there is a Hemi. We'll go look at her later. We'll fire this thing up in another month. 51 Chrysler Hemi. I put these headlights out. They aren't working. And you'll see this thing fired up later. Usually like coming down here after a fresh snow. What size that deer hoof there? Sometimes I come down here, they're just wandering around looking at stuff. I had this Hemi Doodlebug at Syracuse National Fairgrounds there. What is this, last year, 2021? Oh, it was exciting driving this through the crowd. We just see this thing fired up. Well, driller number 2. I never really finished her up. My mother's last vehicle, a 1987 Toyota pickup. God bless her, she was a sweetheart. A Christian Clown. We'll just give a quick preview right now. I'll tell you about this later. Well, driller number 1, kind of retired. What do we got over here? Where's this? There it is. Can you say that? Dumbass hotel. It's where my son and his buddies hang out in the summer down here. The 71 Caddy limo. It's all covered up. Poor old girl. Saved that from the crusher. It's all packed full of junk. Got for $200 way back when. Over here, something special you'll see in the future. It runs a 440 I'm stuck for words. The 440. Jesus, that's awful. Came out of a motorhome, 1978. And I'll show you that later at a later date, because we're going to make a hot rod out of that one. The old half a stinking Lincoln. There's one half. Where's the other? Just dragged that MG in. 53 Austin. We'll talk about that later. All aluminum body. There's something really cool. I wish I could live long enough to see this run again. Not much on the whole Volkswagen thing, but this one's got a Cadillac freaking engine in the back. I got to turn over. Sat by a garage for years. And there again, the guy deceased before he finished. He did a pretty good job. He had a good start on it. A 51 Chevy. It's featured in one of the stories in my book. True stories and tall tales. Oh, we got here a little some vet stuff kicking around. That was kind of 82, could be something. The kid wants to get on this. His Olds actually runs a 330 engine. Farmer had down the road. I think I paid $100 for it. Floors are all gone. Boy, she drives around. We're gonna order some floor pans with his tax money, he said. More Corvette stuff here. Well casing. We'll give me a quick tour. What's this? A 79 L82 was it? Corvette. I accidentally burned up here in the woods. I'll tell you a story on that in the future. It's a 57 Chevy. All that's left of that. The rest of it's buried down that gully down there. My brother buried a 57 Chevy and a 66 Mustang down there. This is 30 years ago. Need some fill. There's a Metro over there. We got to stop this here because we'll come back and talk later. My old tractor. Trail bike. Oh man, back in there's a 17 Saxton touring way back in there. What we got in here? Oh yeah, this is real quick. My Triumph there. Look, the cover's getting all wet in my arm. I can't pick this thing up. My Daytona 509. I'm going to show it to you. And my the old Vet 63. Can't wait to bring her out. That blue tarp. Nice little tea bucket. We got a lot of cool, fun things coming up here to bore you with. Got a little quick around the corner here. Farmy stuff. Bush hog. Oh, geez. Big story. Remember that radiator? There's a 56 T-Bird what's left over. Sad story about this car. I'll have to tell you about that later. Not her, not just the car, but the family involved with it. Call it Jeannie. It's Jeannie. Poor Jeannie. Here's Franken T-Bird. Dragged us all the way back from Tennessee for $300. Had a really super clean frame and everything. I was going to try to make something out of the two cars, but it was just, poor Jeannie was just too bad a shape. She was all complete. I'll show you a picture of that later. Watch the Mini Cooper thing from 07 to 2010. They had real issues with the timing chain. There's one right there. Now the engine's shot. 61 Ford pickup. I'll have to show you. I had one of those when I was younger. We'll be getting a photo of that out pretty soon. Oh, that's about it. And then the kids, my nephew's got this 64 Chevy Impala. You know, we call it the assault vehicle. We're going to make something cool out of this. Real unusual. We're going to put that 440 on the front of this thing. As soon as I get cement pad up the house, we're going to show you how to build an outside hot rod. This is going to be different. We're going to get together and get over those poor Ukrainians. Why aren't we helping them? Should be right in. Okay, there's no politics. I forgot. I think this is a 64 Riviera. It could be brought back to life. That was this one over here, the 65. That was a guy, and it is bad. I gave him, I think, $300 for it. The other one I got from a local farmer down the road here. It was on his tenant house. Paid a couple $100 for it. Same here. But these are cool, so cool. Try to do this with my freaking hand. See that? I got the clamshell. Isn't that cool? You can manually. I thought if I ever got the other one, you take all that front end off the 65, and it'll go. I'm pretty sure it'll bolt right up that 64 or 3, whatever it is. I think it's a 4. And you just manually put a little clasp behind it, you know. Right now, there's stuff stored in that BMW stuff. Same with the trunk in the other. Done deal. Pretty nice stock car frame over here. Picked up through the years. Seen guys make nice little rigs out of these. Put 350 in or whatever. Put some lights on it. And it's even got what I call a cool mother-in-law seat you could put in here in the back. In here somewhere, you know. And that'd be cool, a seat there, the two in here. A little bit. There's a 27 Buick, I believe. Could be the makings of something cool right here. Look at the spring configuration on this, how they were designed here. You could put like anywhere in the back of this thing. Model A box. So just sitting, that's that. Little parts MG. Got the rear head on it. I think 71, 72. A lot of guys know that. There's intake and exhaust valve, both are big on those two, certain years of these. Because I paid $500 for one that was magged, is that how you say it? I had it rebuilt. It's on my 77 MGB up in the barn. Okay, quick tour. That's what you're getting for now. We're just talking, but so we got to back up, and now we can go back at that harness. And I think I was telling you on Avanti 803, the engine was rebuilt in at 78,000, I think it was, and now it's got 100 on it. So, and the guys, I hope the guy that did the engine was good, but the installers weren't too sharp. Because on the one up the shop, you know, some things didn't get put back to original. So I'm going back to talking about, I took another look here and referencing. So it's so nice because there's where that clip is. There's another clip right here that holds the harness. Then it goes in behind the horn through that valley down there. So those are things that I want to get it right back the way it should be and been altered. And then on this side, taking a little closer look, really studying, I say, oh geez, there's a, see this here with my finger? Looks like the harness should have went through there. I don't know what happened today, why it's not yet, because it looks like all the wires have been in the same position for years. And look a little closer, because this one here has been repainted, so they messed with it. They're right here or something. They probably got these in all the Avanti. It's a clip. See right here? I have to let go of the camera to get it off, but I don't think one was on mine. There she is. I think it goes right on this edge of the fiberglass. See? Then I look, it goes right there. In fact, you know what? Because I'm so anal, I'm going to come back down the ruler, and I want to put that right in the exact spot, because I think it was, because it looks like it's been on that spot in the harness for years, and it's chipped off there. So that's important. Like that little clip right there is cool. That's off. I should just take it off now. We're going to do a little bit more on my harness, then we'll come take another look. Good. A lot of cool things to reference. Hey, and I noticed this on my, while we're at it, the 803, the early Avanti, mine's got a brace across here, fiberglass. Just it goes right about 2/3 of the way up the hood. I noticed that in other guys' videos. You see this one, you see it's just straight nothing. Now my 63, the earlier ones, they had a brace, fiberglass, so they did away with it for some reason. Seems like it would have been more of a support for that area, but that's why they felt they didn't need it. That was something I noticed, a difference between early 63 and this would be a late 63. Oh, and the mirror, I have some issues with my inside mirror where it's attached. I noticed I got a little clamp on mine, which is pretty tacky. Let's get back up to the house and start working on that harness some more. I've been here probably bought some property out my grandparents here. My dad held the mortgage on the house for me. There's a big ass oak tree right there. It looked cool because it's kind of hanged over the drive-in. All of a sudden, after about 20 years, I noticed it looked like it was kind of limbs were getting closer to the road. Finally, it came down, that's what all the red oak's about. Picking away at those chunks, splitting them all. Let's go back up the driveway. Coming down is nice. 1,000 feet because I measured it. Can anybody tell me how many feet are in a mile? I kind of forgot. Was it like 4,000 feet or 5,000? So 1,000 up and 1,000 back. I think I walked about a half mile today. We are going into the barn. Okay, let's be careful here. Oh geez, there's the world's tallest ginger ale bottle. Tell you about that someday. Oh, I doubled the dummy. Oh, there we go. We're in the old barn. There's a 77 MGB under there. That's some engine work to get done. I don't know how good the lighting is here. Here's my first bug eye, number 1. Got it from a great guy, Roger Barnett. What a cool old hot rod guy he was. Here's the second one I picked up. Every time I look for one with a little bit better floors. I was end up making a deal for $500 to $1,000 and bring home more bug eye parts and inventory them. And there's the old 1020 buried away back in there, McCormick Daring. Let's go over to my 2x4 supply here. And we're I'm cutting down, I'll measure and go back to the shop. I need a couple pieces, 2 feet 9 inches for the back side of the engine to hold her up till I get the oil pan back on. Then the tranny. What's this? Rochester. Help me get my boots off. See, it works out pretty good. Yes, boss. That's what he used to say to Jack Benny. Yes, boss. I don't know the actor's name, but when I played Rochester, I'd be Jack Benny's valet, kind of sidekick. I think I read somewhere that his voice was all harsh like that because when he was a kid, he used to sell newspapers in New York City or somewhere. And that's how his voice got that graspy voice from selling papers. So, yes, boss. So it's funny how something like that actually made him famous. Can't get back to the wiring harness until we take care of this engine block issue, which I'll explain in a little bit here. I had to cut 2 of these off. I figured around 2 feet, 8.5 inches. This is when I grabbed it off the pile. Look, it's got a bad spot. That's all right for what we're going to be doing. I'm going to try to explain this quick. Took the transmission out. Also took the oil pan out. So I had a board, a chunk of this, just holding one corner of the back of the block. And all the exhaust manifold pipes are unhooked. That meant only the 2 front motor mounts are holding the damn engine in there. Come to find out one of them was broke. So that means I was getting a little nervous earlier. So, and it shifted the engine. Oh. Somehow I jacked it up and got it, put a piece of wood in there, got it back to where, down onto the broken motor mount. I got it all figured out now that I got to cut 2 of these, put one on each corner, let her right down straight. Do the oil pan first, then jack it back up by the oil pan for the next process of putting the transmission in. I don't know if you caught all that, but that's what you get involved with sometimes. I hope I can figure this mess out. Clean the harness up real good. I'm not going to take off all the original electrical tape. I'm just going to retape as neat as I can. Look at all this mess here. These are all just chunks and pieces of that trimmed off it here and there. Wipe every one of these wires off good with a gassy sock. And then other issues you should I'm looking for is this one here. This wire goes to the horn. And there's old insulation cracks like here. But yet the wire's still good. Hate to do it, but I'm going to put a little piece of tape on there. And these are so gross. Somebody reran these wires to the starter solenoid. That's heavy gauge is way overkill. It just looks skanky. I'm going to live with it for a while. And it goes to the ignition switch, which has some issues. I have to take that out anyhow because it's rattling around. I'm kind of gimped up and I can't crawl under the dash very good at this time. So we're going to do what we can for now. Today I just ordered $1,000 worth of parts from Studebaker International. I'd make them the whole list and then read them off on the phone. I'm not going to bore you through all this. Just a few of the items. Pricey stuff. Got front calipers calipers have never been done on this vehicle, so there's like $100 a piece, almost $450 to get that done up. And you had to get the pads. Oh yes, I stand corrected on that starter solenoid. Can't read this anyhow. The starter solenoid, it was only like $16, under $20, $16.50. Then get a new one. just because, when I get this car done, I don't want to be on the side of the road. So the big issue was, to get a starter rebuilt was you have to send them your core, and it's about $210, something around there, $250 she said maybe. Voltage regulator. I noticed on my parts Avanti, somebody changed it, and there again, this one here is the original one on the car, but it's looking rough, and it was working. If you send them your old voltage regulator, she says it costs $350 to rebuild it, if they can still do it. She had to check on it. Just to give you an idea, so they can't be that rare. I got to look into that some more. Let's see, got to replace all the brake lines and flexible hoses, grommets. Around the doors, I am going to, they weren't very pricey, do all those rubbers. They were pretty rough shape. And gas pedal, and the motor mounts, and got the reproduction mirrors. They better be good. 120 a piece. When I got the car, they aren't the right mirrors. Reading up on history, when they delivered as a dealer, they gave you the option of putting the mirrors on the fenders or the doors. And in this case, the mirrors aren't right. So I'm wondering whether they never got the right right from the dealership. They gave me these other cheesier ones. So I find that. So I ordered the right mirrors. Okay, that's all. Let's see. Blah blah blah. Okay, a lot of little hardware things. There's $1,000. If you recall before, I made a kind of a nice bench, all these two Coke machines. And I put a piece of plywood across it. I had some chunks of drywall, 4x8 sheets, chunks maybe, 3x4 or something. But I got past all the painting, and they were kind of, I just tried to utilize them. So now I just got a couple pieces of plywood. I'm going to paint these real nice with some white paint on sale at Lowe's. Go for those $5, $10 deals. I always love that. Comes in handy for a lot of stuff. So yeah, I'm going to paint three different surfaces here. Just when it dries nice, I'll lay my my parts inventory. It's painted is in the bedroom. I call it the death room where Grandma died. Anyhow. And I had the kid climb up here. I had this chest up here, car chest. I had a lot stored there. He handed them down to me, and now I'm laying them out inside the vehicle, as you can see here. I'm trying to, hopefully, for once in my life, I marked a lot of things, and I still think I'm going to have some issues. Here's the felts out of the trunk. We'll eventually clean them up and glue them back in place. And the transmission, I got to get some numbers and find out exactly what it is. Well, I want somebody who knows what they're doing. Because once you put these in, I'm not taking her back out again.